Hi everybody, my name's Nia, and here with me are my partners in crime, Ansa, Rita, Kayla, and this is our paper slide video about phylogenetic trees. What we're going to be talking about today is the process of creating phylogenetic trees. Now you may have noticed my little buddy here. Zach is going to help us explain the ins and outs and hopefully make this a little interesting. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about are the classification basics. There are 8 levels of classification: domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Domain is our largest group, going all the way down to the species, which is the smallest. Let's look at an example. Here we have the hierarchical classification of a leopard. The leopard is in the domain Eukarya, kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Carnivora, family Felidae, genus Panthera, and species Panthera pardus. Notice that the species has 2 names instead of 1. Next, we're going to talk about cladograms. A cladogram is a way to show evolutionary change among groups of organisms. So here's an example of a cladogram. At the very end here, you see a notch that reads segmented bodies. This means that everything past the point has a segmented body, and in this case, that is all of our organisms in our example. Next on the line of life is a notch reading legs. The notch is after our worm friend because sadly he has no legs. The next notch says 6 legs. So now we lose our spider friend because he has 8 legs. This just means that somewhere 2 legs were lost in evolution. Up here we have 2 more characteristics: crushing mouthparts and jumping legs. They are on the main line because the 2 organisms they describe are offshoots of the common characteristic. Down below, our next characteristics are wings, double sets of wings, and curly antennae. The last 3 organisms progress in that same order until we end up with the butterfly. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. We're talking about the phylogenetic tree basics. A phylogenetic tree is a branching diagram used to depict hypotheses about evolutionary relationships. Now, be warned, says Zac Efron. Phylogenetic trees are not the same as cladograms. A phylogenetic tree is constructed of branches that represent age and time period, while a cladogram shows characteristics and not evolutionary history. Certain data is needed to make phylogenetic trees. DNA and homologous structures. Homologous structures are structures used in common ancestors that are still present in their descendants. For example, the similar structures in the forearm of a human, a cat, and the wing of a bat. DNA can be used to extract proteins to show similarities between organisms. Alright, now we're really getting to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk through the process of making cladograms. Let's begin with making a character table. First, list all of your organisms to the left of your table. Above, list the characteristics. Now we're going to fill in our chart with either a yes or a no, depending on what traits each organism has. Now your character table shows the relationships that each of these organisms have to one another. Alright, let's make our cladogram. Start by drawing your baseline. Now look at your chart. Which trait does every organism possess? That's right, Zach, cells. So, draw a notch labeled cells. Now it's time to place our organisms. Which organism only possesses cells? Right, the slug. Draw a notch labeled slug. Now what is the next most common trait? Good, backbone is correct. Draw another notch labeled backbone. Keep drawing notches until everything from your chart is on your cladogram. It should look like this. Now before we end, there is one last thing to discuss. It's maximum parsimony. Maximum parsimony is the cladogram that shows the least amount of mutations. That's right, Zach. It's the clearest. So remember, maximum parsimony equals maximum clarity. Can you figure out which cladogram has maximum parsimony? Right, it's cladogram A. So, in conclusion, phylogenetic trees are really cool ways to explain evolutionary patterns and characteristics. Before I go, I think some thanks are due to some awesome people. I'm going to start with thanking the super amazing Zac Efron for his help today. Oh, you're welcome, Zac. And no, you cannot make a speech. This is not the Teen Choice Awards. Next, I want to thank my partners in crime for their hard work. And last but not least, I want to thank the audience for your time. I really hope this video helps. Agent Crunk, signing out.